is my assignment 5 presentation for my revisions for my unit of study that I did for assignment 4. So first of all, I'm just going to go over my lesson goals and objective. So my goal for my students is to be able to write, identify, and represent groups of objects for numbers 1 through 10. The objective, they'll be able to write these numbers, I'm sorry, that should be for 0 through 10, using whiteboards to identify numbers 0 through 10 using flashcards and to represent groups of objects with the number 0 to 10. So my evidence, so this task allowed for evidence throughout because the students understood what to do through the use of a pre-assessment, mini assessments, and a final assessment at the end. And then students were also able to show their understanding through daily activities and assignments. These daily activities include little booklets we did for each number, and just like daily assignments such as identifying what number this is when I hold up a flashcard, and can you write this number on a whiteboard. One area I feel like I could have improved on for this was specifically when I was doing those observations, how I was going to kind of keep like a record of it. I kind of envisioned that I think I needed to put in there that I was going to like have a sheet with all the students' names on it and kind of just keep like checks if students are getting it, minuses if they're not. That way I would be able to go back and like see which students are still needing help, and it's not just scribbled on the side of a paper. Some real world examples. So I do have in there that my students are using the skills of counting in real life when they're counting things in our classroom and at home. But I feel like this would have been a great place for me to discuss this activity in our weekly newsletter. Asking parents, make sure you're explaining the importance of counting with your kids and like identifying those numbers and how they are going to need them in real life. Your mom might ask you, can you get 2 sticks of butter for the cookie recipe I'm making? And if you can't count, you're not going to be able to get 2 of them. So just really making sure they're aware of why counting is so important. And I think another good place where I could have done this was when I introduced numbers, talking about how numbers are all around us, having the kids give examples if they see numbers on signs when mom and dad are driving, at a restaurant, in books, on TV, and how we need to be able to read those numbers. For the assessments, so like I said before, I did have a variety of assessments. They were given a pre-assessment, mini assessments, and a post-assessment. The pre-assessment just kind of determined where they were at, and then mini assessments were given throughout, both formal and informal, just kind of to see our students understanding this. Is this something we're going to be needing to review? And then the post-assessment was at the end, reviewing all the numbers 0 to 10. And like I said, they were both verbal, written. I was asking students, can you identify a whole group? These numbers that I'm showing you on flashcards. Can you write this number for me? Like I said with the evidence, so I feel like an area I could have improved on here was my documentation of it. So just how are you going to document those observations you're seeing? Where are you going to keep all these mini assessments, pre-assessment, and post, just so you can kind of see the progress students are making. For my self-assessment and reflection, so students are given time to self-reflect throughout the day, a little bit different than how you would in another classroom since I teach kindergarten. We kind of do more of a thumbs up, thumb down approach just since students are just now learning to write their name. So for this approach, it's adapted to kindergartners. We sit on the carpet after our lessons and we close our eyes so just I can see in them, and they give me a thumbs up if they understand this activity and they think they could teach it to a friend. They give me a thumb in the middle if they think, yeah, I've got this, but I still need a little bit of help and I'm not ready to be able to teach it to a friend yet. And then thumbs down means this was really hard for me and I need help with this. And I think it's really important to let them reflect as well as me reflecting on how I think they did, because sometimes my opinion of how they're doing isn't how they feel that they're doing. One thing, though, that I think would have been great adaptation to fix for this would have been in our math journal, allowing students, giving them just a little sheet with smileys on it that has like a happy face, an in-between face, and a sad face. And they color it in like green, happy, yellow for in-between, red for sad, just so they kind of see like, whoa, like I'm not getting this, I'm still not getting this, I need help, or look, I made progress, like I wasn't getting this at the beginning, but now I understand how to do it. I think this would have been a great way for them to see their own progress instead of just me being able to see through the thumbs up, thumb down approach. And then I also included my ISTE standard that I used, which was just designing authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and using those digital resources in the classroom, and then just also fostering a culture where my students are learning by themselves. They're taking ownership of these goals, and I think a lot of that has to do with the self-reflection piece. And there's my references. Thanks so much for watching, and that's all.